It's definitely, being a coach, you're wired a little different. Wired a little different because you're aware. There's a lot of awareness. And this is self-awareness that a lot of leaders, organizations may miss out on. You know, people assume they understand it, but unless you actually go through a conversation that speaks to self-awareness, what does it mean for me, but also what does it mean about being self-aware about the people around me? How do I show up? How do I affect others? How do I support others? How do I motivate others? Self-awareness should be the beginning of all journeys, but apparently it's not as easy for a lot of people, first and foremost, but it's also not something that people are comfortable with. So this conversation of self-awareness in the coaching space really allows you to understand the colleagues around you, leadership, how you show up, and so on and so forth. But I think for me, it's important that each and every person has that journey, you know, walks that journey. And so when you speak about, you know, being code language in the certified coach, you know, for instance, if I say, listen, you know, we need to have more self-awareness around this situation, it allows the people who are coaches to understand and to delve deeper, because sometimes things are not as easy. You know, you can only be seeing the tip of the iceberg and the rest is under. So we need to peel the onion, you know, realize what's going on below the scene, below the line, so that you can be able to, for instance, understand and support each other in walking this journey. Yeah. The place for self-awareness for leaders is understanding, first and foremost, who you are. What is your personality trait? How do you show up? I say this because, especially in teams where you lead teams and you're aspiring to lead teams, it's important to understand, you know, how you show up. I say this because we've got different personalities. You know, we have personalities that are very strong, driven. You know, they can actually injure others. They can injure others along the way, not because it's intentional, but that's just your personality trait. You wake up, you drive. You don't listen much, but you drive a situation. There are others who are also very earthy, people who you know, are sensitive. And you must be able to understand them too, because there is a place for them. There's nothing wrong with that. There are personalities also who speak to just following the rules, dot your I's and cross your T's, stay within the boundaries, you know, and there's a place and a time for those as well. And finally, there's also a place for people who have sunny personalities, people who walk into the room and are the life of the party. There's a place for them as well. So understanding the dynamics of the people around you, other than yourself, helps you engage better. So for instance, if I know I'm a leader and I come out as very strong and driven, and I find somebody who's a little more sensitive, it allows me then to, for instance, speak to them in a different way. I wouldn't come into a room and ignore them, because that hurts them. I would come into a room and say, good morning, how are you? How are you doing? How's your family? I really saw that you're not feeling well yesterday. How are you feeling today? That means a lot to them. But others, you know, who are very driven, maybe not. So you have to align yourself, knowing the personalities, but first and foremost, knowing how you, me as an individual, shows up, helps me then interact with others better.